Good morning, Ray. Thank you for coming. Please help yourself to breakfast anonymously sponsored. Rashi brings down that the two cases that happened around the same time were people put in prison. They were incarcerated. One was the story of the blasphemer, and the other who desecrated the Shabbos. And in both cases, they needed to determine from Hashem what to be done. In the case of the person who desecrated Shabbos, he didn't know what punishment was going to be meted out to him. In the case of the blasphemer, even though he did a terrible thing, the question was, what do we do with him? They didn't know the answer to the question. And what's fascinating is that the blasphemer and the one who desecrated Shabbos were kept in two different cells. They weren't put in the same cell. And why was that? Because the person who desecrated Shabbos was known that he was going to die. They didn't want to give extra anguish to the blasphemer when he did a terrible thing. He should be in the same cell, so he's going to die. He's going to feel worse, so they separated. You see the sensitivity of the Torah, where the Torah has. In fact, when somebody commits a sin and brings a carbon, he doesn't bring it in a separate area, brings it in an area where other carbonates are being brought to mask the facts. There's a tremendous sensitivity. And the story is told by Rabbi Sonnenfeld, the chief rabbi of Jerusalem. There was a story in that city. We had a Shari Tzedek hospital, and you had a missionary hospital that wanted to gain traction among the Jews. So there was a cherem put on that whoever sought treatment, that the missionary hospital wasn't going to get treated in the much superior Shari Tzedek hospital. There was one critic of Rabbi Sonnenfeld who hated him, he attacked him, and he went to the missionary hospital, and he was not being cured. The only way he would get cured was if he transferred to the Shari Tzedek hospital. The family went to Rabbi Sonnenfeld and said, can you please sign a letter allowing him in? Rabbi Sonnenfeld was 75 years old. He was sick. He ran in the pouring rain to the hospital, and he said, how dare you decide matters of life and death, saving the man's life. However, the family was concerned that had he known that who saved him was Rabbi Sonnenfeld, his enemy, he would relapse. So they never told him. He was sensitive to that. He never told them any either. So you see the degree of sensitivity of what being Jewish is all about. Even people who do terrible things and may be perceived as enemies, we still have a certain sensitivity. That's the lesson of the blasphemer and the person who violated Shabbos. Have a wonderful day.